CNN10 Scoop, Thursday, February 27th, 2025, Scoop 113. Season's most significant storm yet, January 6, 2025. Reading aloud. This week, the nation will pay its respects to former U.S. President Jimmy Carter with the National Day of Mourning on Thursday. President Carter passed away on December 29th at his home in Plains, Georgia, at the age of 100. He was the longest-lived president in U.S. history. Over the weekend, Carter's motorcade traveled through Plains before arriving in Atlanta for a service at the Carter Presidential Center, where the former president will lie in repose until Tuesday morning. The former president will then lie in state in the Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C., until the funeral service at the Washington National Cathedral on Thursday morning. Following the service, the late president and his family will travel back to Carter's hometown in Georgia for a private funeral service and burial. CNN's Wolf Blitzer has more on the life and legacy of the 39th President of the United States. We just want the truth again. Jimmy Carter was elected president barely 2 years after the law-breaking and cover-ups of the Watergate scandal forced President Richard Nixon to resign. His candor seemed like a breath of fresh air. There's a fear that our best years are behind us, but I said to you that our nation's best is still ahead. James Earl Carter was born on October 1st, 1924. His father ran an agricultural supply store in Plains, Georgia. His mother was a nurse. He was smart enough and tough enough to receive an appointment to the U.S. Naval Academy. Just after graduation in 1946, he married Rosalind Smith. His naval career took him from battleships to the new nuclear submarine program. But when his father died in 1953, he left the military and returned to Georgia, where he spent the next 2 decades running the family peanut farm business and slowly and steadily beginning a political career that saw him elected governor of Georgia in 1970. My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president. In 1976, the former Georgia governor went from being Jimmy Who to the White House. Not everyone in Washington was happy to see him. Early on, Carter was accused of presidential micromanaging, of excessive attention to detail. That mastery of details enabled Carter to negotiate the Camp David Peace Accords, a deal between Egypt and Israel that led to a peace treaty ending decades of war between their countries. His most difficult presidential days came after Iranian militants took dozens of Americans hostage in Tehran in late 1979. They were held for 444 days, and 8 U.S. servicemen died after President Carter ordered an elaborate rescue attempt that failed. The Iran hostage crisis was only one of the challenges that confronted President Carter. He and Rosalind founded the Carter Center in part to promote peace, democracy, human rights, as well as economic and social development all over the world. Carter monitored elections for fairness. He went to North Korea and Cuba and met with leaders usually shunned by the U.S., including representatives of Hamas, the Palestinian organization both the U.S. and Israel have branded as terrorists. In autumn of 2002, Carter was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, the culmination of an incredible career as a world leader and as a citizen. I'm delighted and humbled and very grateful that the Nobel Peace Prize Committee has given me this recognition. He still wasn't done. Carter remained active into his 90s, traveling, writing books, building Habitat for Humanity homes, husband, statesman. A connection to an era now gone, Jimmy Carter was a defender of values forever current.